Feels like you can't go 2 minutes without hearing something about AI. The advancements have been incredible lately, and today we're showing you another tool that will allow you to make this with just the click of a button. This new thing is Wonder Studio from Wonder Dynamics, a new company co-founded by Ty Sheridan with names like Steven Spielberg and Joe Russo on their advisory board. Have your attention yet? Just to give you a quick breakdown of what this is, Wonder Studio is an app driven by AI that will take your footage and do all the work for you to track your actors' movements, then remove them and replace them with a CG character. And it uses the video you uploaded to light and composite that character properly into the scene as well. You can jump on it now at their website, the link in the notes below, but it's currently in private beta, so you just need to sign up and wait for it. And while this is free right now and you get 7 minutes of rendering time a month, which resets each month, it does look like this is going to be shifting to a paid model outside of beta. So that's the very quick rundown, but is it any good? The answer is yes. No, and it absolutely will be. So let's take a closer look at that. First, let's just try out a basic shot like this one here. Inside of Wonder Studio, you come up here and click Create New Project. This gives you the option for Live Action Easy or Live Action Advanced. We'll go Easy for now. Then we can add our footage by dragging and dropping right here. Then we pull it down to the project, then click Next. Find a solid frame where your actor is and click Scan Frame for Actor. It does its thing and gives you this little box over the actor. So now you can come here and drag one of the CG characters over your actor and click Next again. Now we have some options, which we'll get to in a sec, but for now, all there is to do is hit Start Processing. That's it. It does take a bit of time to get through its process. For around 4 seconds, it's been taking me about 40 minutes or so, but you don't have to do anything but wait. And once it's done, we have this. It's not perfect, but given that this is brand new and in beta, it's a bit mind-blowing. I mean, just using it for motion capture alone is a great option, but can we add CG characters to famous films? That is a question, which we will answer in a minute. Let's take a deeper look at the app itself. On the site, you have your project templates and assets you've uploaded. In the template, you have some shots that Wonder Dynamics placed there for you to try out. Seems like best case scenario footage for Wonder Studio, and the results are crazy solid, like you see on their promo. You can see here that there's a community and marketplace coming, and I haven't talked to Wonder Dynamics, so I'm just assuming that the marketplace will have more characters that you can buy and maybe share. When you create a new project, like I showed before, you can go over to Advanced, and this will give you a few extra options. One option that both Easy and Advanced do have is the option to add a clean plate, which would be very helpful for something like our opening shot, but it isn't working for me right now, beta woes and all that, I'm assuming, but that will be amazing when it is an option in the future, for reasons I'll be showing in a minute. So we'll drop this shot in here, then click Next. Now over here, you'll see that we have global settings we can adjust, like the focal length, and there will be more once we scan for our actor, so we'll do that now, and we're ready to add our character. You have 2 options for that. Pull from Wonder Studio's characters here, and you can see that there are several coming soon, or you can upload your own models to use, which is pretty awesome. There is some prep work that goes into that, which we may cover in another episode. But we'll pull one of the characters over, and now we have these extra options here. Advanced retargeting, advanced features, which will let you set shot type and motion type, and a few other handy options. But now, once again, you are ready to render. Here you can choose your resolution up to 4K, then for format, our options are MP4 and PNG right now, but you can see that ProRes and the option for match source are coming soon. Then down here, we can select to export individual elements like AI mocap, the clean plate Wonder Studio will make, alpha masks, which will be the mask of our actor, the blender scene, and eventually we're gonna get a character pass and camera track. 2 things that I'm honestly the most excited about. But once it's done, we have this. Next up, let's put this thing to the test and see how much we can break it, and if we can stick a character in Pulp Fiction. A lot of these shots that we're using are from Artlist, who is also today's sponsor and one of our go-to resources for all of our work on a normal basis. We're always moving fast, especially these days, working fast to get the work out there and move on to the next, but without reducing quality, and that's the benefit of Artlist, specifically Artlist Max, which is all of their resources under one license. You have stock footage, music, sound effects, motion graphics, and then there's some plugins and software too. And again, something that we use in basically every episode, like the stock footage that helps us build out an episode, or motion graphics that we don't have time to do from scratch. And other than music, that's probably what we use the most. For instance, if we dive in right here, just clicking into the template section, you already get some great stuff like this Wes Anderson vibe. Something I love is being able to select where I want to work. If I want to stay all in Premiere, I'll come here and select just Premiere Pro. And for me, this is the stuff that helps you elevate the feel of what you're working on, those little bits of extra effort that lift up the pace and tone of your piece overall, while while not breaking the bank in terms of the time you have to spend. Like this one, I pulled it right into Premiere and changed what I needed right there, and off we went. Other times, it's all of the assets I'm using for a project, like this episode where I showed how to create a rip reel for your pitch. It's something that I've actually done for pitches that I've taken to studios and production companies.
Even science of today cannot fully explain.
Like I've said in the past, for us, it's a Swiss Army knife of a resource, a little bit of everything, even just inspiration, scrolling through these works to get a spark of creativity when you need that too. And with Artlist Max, all of that is under one subscription. So definitely check out the notes below and use our link to get 2 months free off of an annual subscription.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Over several days, I threw a bunch of different tests at Wonder Studio, like this one here, which was my first and pretty solid. The subtle eye movements that it grabbed from Josh is pretty impressive, though you see it begins to break with the removal and the feet on the ground. And of course, it can't go behind things like walls, so compositing would be needed later on. Or this shot here, a slow-mo shot of someone riding a horse from Artlist. Again, you'd have to do some compositing to put one leg behind the horse, but this is a very impressive result. Again, some background removal issues, but overall not bad. Then there's this slow motion battle shot. I knew this one would definitely break it, and it does at times, but I was shocked at how well it's doing. There's some jitter here. I did this through easy mode, but if you do look at this as a starting point, this is already a pretty amazing tool. It is funny to see it fall away when it goes behind the man though. Then there's this shot, a family dancing together, and here it does a very solid job overall. The removal is much better with the background here, though the character's arms are going through his head, but still not bad. I tried to pass this same shot with just removing the kid, and this one worked incredibly well. The main problem here is that the color on him and his feet on the ground. Both aren't hard to fix once we do get that character pass option though. But the removal, while awesome in theory, is always the main problem for me. To really see it, let's take a look at this shot, which is a very difficult one thanks to the flowing hair. And once done, you see what I mean. Sort of looks like the robot is giving a piggyback ride to the Predator. Of course, with the hair, this shot is really pushing it, but a small version of this issue is present in most of my shots. Again, the immediate solve would be that clean plate option. Then I could use motion control to get movement while still having the exact clean plate to feed the system. So hopefully that works soon. Then there's this shot here. Again, I purposefully made it hard to see how we could break this thing, and still a lot about this is awesome. But you see that same background replacement issue here. Then the lights in the scene aren't interacting with our character. They can't do that yet, but hopefully that becomes a thing in the near future. But man, moments of this look great until it completely breaks, then comes back to some degree again. I was especially impressed with how it found Josh and that came in. Then again, there's the facial capture, which does a solid job. It seems to have some trouble with beards sometimes, but overall it does pretty well. It's really that motion capture and facial capture that I'm most interested in. I can see this launching in that area very soon, and then being able to pull that data into Unreal or C4D or Blender. Again, I'm just assuming, I have not been talking to them, but I think that's where this could really shine soon. And of course, as a starting point for all of the above too. Although the motion capture does break in certain cases as well, like this underwater shot, it'd work at times, but then it would get confused. Or a more obvious example that I knew would break it is this one here, which of course it did, since you can't really see the human form to follow. So the main limitations that I'm seeing here is no interactive lighting, the feet have trouble connecting with the floor, some jitter in the animations, and background replacement. But how fast technology, especially AI, is moving right now, I feel like this is going to be crushing in all of those areas within the next 2 years. But here is the most important question. Can we put CG characters in Pulp Fiction? And the answer is yes.
What?
What country you from?
What?
What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what?
What?
English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
Yes.
And you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Describe what Marcellus Wallace looks like.
What?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more
He's black.
Again, I get the concern around things like this, but from listening to the Wonder Dynamics team talk about it, their goal isn't to replace VFX artists, it's to remove some of the more technical, monotonous things that get in the way of creating, and I believe that. A lot of people are terrified about AI, and I do understand that completely, and in some areas, I am too. It's an uncertain future that could go many different directions, but the fact is, there's no putting the genie back in the bottle. These are tools that are here to stay and will only keep growing and getting more advanced. So as I always say with any kind of technology, for me it's going to be about learning these new tools and discovering ways to have them add value to me as a creator instead of just replacing me. But only time will tell with any of that. I'm an optimist and my fingers are crossed. Links to everything in the notes below, and until next time, don't forget to write, shoot, edit, repeat.